Hi everybody, my name is Syona. I wanted to bring you in on my daily green juice that I make. Yes, daily. I make this every day. And I wanted to share with you when I began juicing. I started juicing, and this was juice that I bought. When I lived in New York City, I was a professional performing artist in the 80s and the 90s, and I think I was going to school. I think I graduated from school already. I was auditioning for Broadway, I was dancing professionally, I was singing professionally, and then, I don't know if they do this now because I don't live in New York City anymore, I live in the Pacific Northwest, but at that time, they had corner markets, and they had Spanish bodegas, Latino bodegas, and then they also had just general markets, and they had Asian markets. I'm sure they probably still have these things in New York. But anyway, if you're from New York and if you know, please leave me a comment and let me know that I'm sure there's still bodegas, but let me know if they still have this component to it. In the markets, they didn't have these in the bodegas, but in the markets, and especially in the Asian markets, they had a juicer. They had a little juice bar in the back, and you could buy freshly juiced carrot juice, and then carrot celery juice, and then wheatgrass juice, freshly pressed wheatgrass juice. And I just had this feeling. I was like called to get the carrot juice, of course, because I was a sugar addict and carrot is really high in sugar. So I got the carrot juice, and I remember the first time, it probably was like 1988 or 1989 when I was, just 20, 21. I had to have been 20, so it must have been 88. And I remember the first time I drank, and it was all in glasses, the fresh pressed carrot juice. It was amazing. It was like liquid life going down my throat. My whole body came to life. And I just want to let you know, I did not have a very good diet back then. I was just coming off of the standard American diet that I was born and raised into, and I was just transitioning into becoming vegetarian at that time, and my diet was predominantly processed food, frozen food, and a lot of sugar, candy. Basically, I was eating a lot of carob. Everybody remember carob? Carob covered raisins and peanuts and almonds that I could get in the bulk bins at the Nature's Way health food store in Manhattan. So I didn't have a very good diet. And the carrot juice was like, wow. And I knew I had to start drinking carrot juice regularly. It wasn't a daily practice yet, but I remember several times a week when I was done doing like a lot of dance classes. I was dancing sometimes 5-6 classes a day, training. And then I would go to voice lessons, and then I'd go to auditions, and then I'd go to drama class and read, break down scripts and everything. And then I'd have to stop for a carrot juice at the corner market because it made me feel so good. I had so much energy. What I'm putting in my juice, this is my daily green juice. It is cilantro. I do about a half of a bunch of cilantro. I know not everybody can eat or drink the juice of cilantro because you have that genetic component where it tastes like soap. I am so grateful that I don't have that because I love cilantro and it chelates mercury out of your body. So then I do a different green. And by the way, sometimes I do forget about a cilantro and I don't have it. So I don't always do cilantro, but I usually do cilantro. And then I do a different green. So the green that I'm doing, and yes, this is a green, it is not a lettuce. This is the lightest of the greens, is romaine. I do like a half a bunch of romaine. And I'm just gonna Flip it up. And I have everything laid out here. Yeah, I do. I have everything laid out here. This is for my system, this is the optimal juice for me every day. So rotating my greens, rotation means sometimes Swiss chard. I love Swiss chard because it has natural sodium in it. It's salty and I love salt. And then of course, spinach and the kales. I really prefer the lacinato or dinosaur kale. And I used to do arugula, but it's just too peppery in the juice. I love arugula. I love spice. I love pepper, but I can't do it in the juice. And I've done it a lot in my juice. Even baby arugula is too much. And then sometimes collards. I'm not a huge fan of the taste of collards, but it is a good source of calcium and iron. So you want to do that. And I know people have a whole thing about oxalates. If you want to know more about oxalates and what they do in your system and what is the appropriate amount of greens and all that, then please take my free class for the Whole Self Restoration Program, which I am launching next month in September 2026, and sign up for the program. It's a 6-month fully immersive program. Once a week cohorts. It is completely comprehensive, and Whole Self Restoration Program combines hardcore science with absolute esoteric, emotional, empathic, intuitive, and psychic energy. So it's the best of both worlds. Total logic. It's my lifestyle that I have spent the last 18 years designing and putting this into a lot of information. It is power packed, and we're going to be moving towards a 14-day juice cleanse that I will be guiding you and everybody else through. And it's also a parasite cleanse while you're doing the 14-day juice cleanse. It is very supportive, very nourishing, and you'll learn how to make the green juice and other juices. Okay, so my juice, then I take celery. Why am I doing this with the celery? I'm de-ribbing the celery because the strings, they slow down the juicer, and I've learned over the decades that I've been juicing that it's easier to get the juice and to move everything through when I de-rib the celery. So I do. And I usually do probably about 3 to 5 stalks of celery. Celery is nature's aspirin. It is a circulatory promoter. So it's really good to keep your blood flowing. It's also a blood cleaner. Again, natural sodium, and we need natural sodium. We don't want to be eating salt, because salt is very dehydrating to the body. But the mineral sodium is really healthy for the body. And then I use 1 to 1.5, today I'm only using 1, Granny Smith apple, the heirloom apples. There's very few of them left. But this contains malic acid. And you want malic acid running through your system once a day because it breaks down bile stones in your liver and your gallbladder. And this has a really good source of vitamin C, which builds your immune system and keeps your skin clear and clean. Vitamin C is amazing for your overall health. So I do 1 Granny Smith apple, and I break it down. And yes, I am using a Nama juicer. I'm not a Nama affiliate. I used to have a Green Star by the Tribest company. I love Green Star. I love them a little bit more than I love the Nama. I'm super grateful for this Nama J2. Super grateful for it. And it is quick, but I live in the Pacific Northwest, and it's very wet here in the the western part. I live closer to the Pacific Ocean in Oregon, and we have so much moisture here, and this juicer just doesn't take out the juice as much as the Green Star does. So I personally prefer the Green Star more, but still love the Nama. And whatever juicer that you want to get, that's great. If you can't afford either of them, just start with the juicer that you can. Now, I do 4 large slicer cucumbers, and cut these up well, because cucumbers are so good for your skin. They're so good for your digestive system. And when you are in the warm and the hot months of the year in your area, cucumbers are very cooling. Do I use these in the cold months too? I do, because this is a huge source of hydration for me. My body, from being raw vegan for almost 20 years, my body has adjusted to temperature differentiation. And there is a learning curve on that. And I teach all of this in the Whole Self Restoration program that I'm going to be launching in September 2026, next month. So I will do several of these at a time, and then the last component that I put in is fresh chopped ginger. I'm not going to use this whole thing, but I love ginger. I love spice. My body doesn't handle certain spices very well anymore. I have a very, very sensitive body. So ginger is absolutely key for strong digestion, because I was born with some weak digestive issues. So ginger helps my digestion to keep flowing. This warms up my body. This creates heat. It builds my immune system. It's amazing for your skin. There's so many health benefits to ginger. It's really fun having you with me here in my kitchen while I make my daily green juice. I have not done this before. I've talked with people on the phone, or I've talked with people in my kitchen while I make my food, but I've never done the video, and I like this. This is a lot of fun. So with back to my juicing journey, I dabbled in getting carrot juices in New York City, and I noticed that I had more stamina for dance classes. I noticed my singing voice, because I'm a mezzo soprano. I noticed my singing voice was clearer. I noticed I'm a mezzo belt, so I noticed that I could, you were taught to hit the mezzanine. So I noticed that my belt was stronger, and I could hit the mezzanine in the theater clearer when I was drinking carrot juice. So then at the market in New York City, they were, of course, offering wheatgrass juice. I didn't like the smell. I mean, it's a tough smell. It's really intense. It's super, super strong. And there was a guy who had the most amazing skin. He was much older, and he was drinking a shot, like a shot of whiskey, a shot of wheatgrass juice every time I went in there. Like, he was sitting at the juice bar, like it was a bar. He wore a cowboy hat, by the way, and he did have jeans and cowboy boots, but he was drinking wheatgrass juice, not Jack Daniels. So he and I were getting into a conversation when I was sipping at my huge glass. It was probably like an 8-ounce glass of carrot juice. And he said, you should drink half of that, and then you should get a shot of wheatgrass. And he said, and you should put the whole shot glass in there and let it mix. He said, or you can just pour it. But he said, I dare you to drink down half of that, order a shot of wheatgrass, and then stick the whole thing in there and drink it. And I'm like, like, you're challenging me like we're at a Western bar. And he said, that's right. He called me little lady. So I said, okay. So he bought me my first shot of wheatgrass juice. This probably was like in like 1990 or 91. And I remember I was like, okay, I like to challenge like that. And I said, okay. So I did exactly as he told me to. He dared me to put the whole shot into the half glass what was left of carrot juice. And of course it filled up more and mixed around. And I said, I can't drink it in one full shot. He said, you're going to need to drink a lot in order to like bypass the taste, because this is your first shot. So I did. I drank as much as I could. And of course, the carrot juice masked a lot of that super heavy, intense grass taste and the aroma, because I have a psychic sense of taste and smell, which I didn't tell him at the time. So I drank a bunch. And what hit me simultaneously was this absolute energetic rush, like total life force hitting my stomach, and my cells immediately picked it up. But simultaneously, the smell and the taste was so strong. I don't have a strong gag reflex. I didn't have a strong gag reflex. It was just like, oh my gosh, this is so much. And he laughed and he said, do you feel the rush? I just looked at him, and everything, like my perception turned everything into like crystalline. Everything, the colors came out at me more vibrantly. My body got warm and I felt so grounded, and I felt like I did in the first 7 years of my life, when I was really even more conscious and aware than I was at that time. And I said, yes. And he said, you're going to get addicted to it. You're going to get hooked. And he said, this is an addiction to have. He's like, you're going to be super healthy. And then he told me he was 62 years old. The guy he didn't look a day over 40. He looked really lean. His skin, though, was amazing. And his eyes, the whites of his eyes were so white. He had the most beautiful, like vibrant blue eyes. And he told me, we talked for a long time, and he told me all the changes that drinking wheatgrass juice had done for him. It was incredible. So from then on, I started getting wheatgrass shots, and I started juicing more and more and more until I was pregnant with my middle son, Mars, in 1999. And then I had to start juicing every day. And that's when I started juicing daily, 1999. Let's get this going. Amazing. I love it. And I have my big glass, and I strain it. I strain it with a tea strainer through my funnel, through the top. And oh, you can see it. The pulp is coming out. I absolutely love the process. It's a daily meditation for me to make a daily juice. I love the process. I love absolutely everything about this. It's life. It's liquid life, the life force from the fruits and vegetables into your body to nourish you. This is my daily multivitamin, and I wanted to share this with you. So if you want to know when my free whole self restoration program class is going to be in September, go to my website. It's in the description below, SoniaWilderWellness.com, and click on schedule a session and sign up for my newsletter. It's a little checkbox. It's already checked. You're filling out your name, your email, and sign up for my once a month newsletter, and you'll find out when the free class is. And I am giving a free gift for those that attend my free class. So I'll see you there. Thanks so much for juicing with me. Have a wonderful moment wherever you're at in the world. I appreciate you. So good.